So what systems can we use to to do this, raise our children without all those fears we have ourselves, and then we pass on those fears. Sometimes we when they see us being very fearful of certain outside influences or situations, decisions, then children absorb that, and then they themselves take that on and forward in life. So if we don't necessarily want to pass that on, then um, the biggest transformation that happened for me is like when I invested in my own well-being and I had all the support I ever could have wanted. And like I mentioned before, the first thing I actually dropped was all those fears I used to have, that, oh, if my children are behaving like this now, then they're going to turn out to be like this as adults. And I was making all these predictions and all these stories in my head, like how things will turn out. And I thought, like, yeah, it must be right, because it keeps on coming up, all those fears, and they kept on coming up because I had made so many stories around them, and I started believing in them, and then I started making decisions based on them, or telling the kids not to do this or not to do that, because I thought, oh, if I don't correct all of this stuff now, then they're not going to turn out all right. But once I had dropped all that, I can actually live with my children now, and don't live in some sort of fearful future scenario that might never happen. And it all happened through investing in myself, and understanding my own well-being, and having support, not just from family but from outside sources that really, really helped me to move forward. And for now, like, feel the fear and ignore it completely, unless in physical danger. So all these emotional fears we have, we don't need to pay any attention to them. We can ignore them. And rather than being in that fearful state, be prepared. Like, prepare yourself for the fact that, fearful thinking around parenting might never come up again, or might come up frequently. But rather than paying too much attention to that and spending our time figuring out where they've come from or what we need to do, prepare for what you can do now, and move forward with whatever you're doing now, and take actual next steps that are best for you. A really good system I've been using myself, it's called Getting Things Done, from it's a guy called David Allen, who developed this system called Getting Things Done. And there's an app called Meister Task app, which you can download. And I'm actually intending to do another masterclass on that, how to use it for every day, for at home, for parents, and how to use that to always know what's the next step you want to take. So taking out all those clutters and maybe fears, and putting it down into a system that actually will help you to say, okay, these are my goals, these are the steps I want to take next, and these are my next actions I want to take to support myself and my family, rather than leaving it up to random everyday occurrences. And wishing for your children what you wish for yourself, it's basically about believing in their wisdom, but also believing in your own wisdom, that you can move forward with your children. And sorry, that we all have, that I believe that many people say, like, there's different opinions on what's the oldest profession in the world, but I believe the oldest is not even a profession, but the oldest, since beginning of time, people have been parents. And I think most of the parents have done an amazing job, and we don't need to doubt ourselves so much. We need to believe in that inner wisdom we all have inside of us, and get our children to believe in that as well, that they're all born with this inner wisdom they can rely on, and everybody has their own wisdom, and teaching them to bring it out more. And it first of all, we need to live it ourselves, believe in our own wisdom to parent our children in the best way possible, and then allowing them to bring out their wisdom, which will guide them throughout their life too. Set up regular conversations for emotional well-being. So talking about, again, just like the way we talked about fears today, talking to them about feelings that come up for them, and how much attention do you really need to pay to those fears and emotions that come up for our children, and having those open conversations about it. It's really, I have it very regular with my own children, and it's very casual, but because it's become so the norm, they just easily talk about it. Hang out with them with nothing on your mind. Just check. Yeah, I will get to the question in a minute. So by hanging out with them with nothing on your mind, I mean not while you're busy trying to do something, or trying to do the dishes or anything else, or have something on your mind that, oh, I really need to do this next or that next. Just be with your kids without nothing on your mind, and have conversations in that way, and see how much comes out, and ask them about their inner wisdom and insights they've had, and instincts, and they will tell you. And I record those insights in the Getting Things Done app. It's called the Meister Task app. I'll write it in the chat box in a minute as well. If you search for it, it comes up. But yeah, I write it down, and then my son, he was reading it the other day, and it put a big smile on his face, and it's really beautiful to write those down. Actually, my next point was note their insights, new fresh ideas they share with you, to see how they're perceiving and interpreting the world. So this is a really, really important point, actually. One way to find out how our children are actually taking in all their experiences and how they're perceiving the world, because we are perceiving the world from within us. We are looking out into the world and looking at the physical world, and then making decisions and judgments about it, and perceiving it and having opinions about it. So if you don't find out how your children are perceiving your world, what are their opinions, what and fresh new ideas they have, then we won't know what's actually going on inside their world. So really asking them about their new ideas and insights they've had. They feel really valued as well when we do that. And although my children are still young and I've been using this system for a while, I can see how effective it is. Just doing these few simple steps. And obviously every parent has their own wisdom, and you might add on your own ways of doing things, or have your own wisdom and into how to take this even further. But yeah, these are some of the points I've come across and I've found very valuable in terms of doing our best to make sure that they will grow up to be well-balanced adults and members of the society. If you like more tips on effortless parenting from the inside out, and comprehensive training on how to make parenting fun, easy and effective, Watch our free web class on coachsafia.com/gift.